and I'm your host today with this interesting, enriching talk with Dr. Seema Negi. I'm representing the team of educators at iRoboKid, and iRoboKid basically is a educational institute specialized in the space of STEM and technology education, and we've been here for the past 10 years. So ma'am, recently we've launched a newest platform on our website called Posts and Pillars, where we not only post blogs and related material for STEM and technology, but also we are hosting talks and interviews with eminent personalities in the field of education. And with regards to that, we have here with us, and I'm proud and humbled to share the space with Dr. Seema Negi here today. Let me give you a small introduction because there's lots to say, but a little I can mention. So Dr. Seema is a renowned educator, director, founder and principal at Sanjeevani World School. She's also an eminent speaker, panelist, moderator at various conferences, summits across the globe. And so she believes in instilling life skills, moral and social values for children's future. She's been here for almost 2 decades now, and over the years she has had numerous achievements and awards. Just to mention a few, I will need to take help from this list because there are many. So to start with, Best Academic Leader, Bharat Vidya Shiromani, Shiksha Bharati, Nari Shakti, Super Achiever, Jewel of India, Nation Builder, Humanity Award, Global Goodwill Ambassador, and Edu Leader and Principal, Coordinator for SAARC Nations Regional Committee for Global Youth Parliament, Secretary General for India for Global Top Education, and the global. So I'm not only glad but also in awe to mention that just recently in this month of October she's been awarded with 2 most prestigious awards, that is the Global Gandhi Peace Award 2021 and the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Award for Excellence. So ma'am, that is really a long list and truly remarkable. Why? Because that all of this and that was at such a young age. So that's really remarkable. Ma'am, in your own words, you say that you have a legacy to leave behind, a legacy in the form of successful students who are an asset to the nation in general. And you also mentioned that education for you is a passion, and you willingly accept this responsibility to prepare students for exams, but for their future, for their life. So, that is actually the need of the hour. Children today need to be prepared to face challenges of the world. So, ma'am, first we would be curious to know what motivated you or inspired you to come in the field of education. If you can share something about your journey which brought you here.
So, first of all, thank you, Mubaraka, and thank you so much, iRoboKid, because I believe each and every conversation that we have with anyone, it's a learning, and always be ready and open for learning. So I am very sure that rather than just being a question answer session, I'm going to learn a lot from you. And you always learn from youth, the moment you surrender to your children. So you asked me what motivated me to be here. I think if you want to stay young forever, come to the profession of teaching and you will love it, because you are always associated with young minds. And being a teacher, position comes pretty later. If you speak about director, principal, that comes pretty later. You need to be a hardcore educator, a teacher. So when that passion is there, you always want to give something more than just homework to your children. And the day you believe that this something more is going to shape them. So when you talk about a school, there is something called curriculum, there is something called hidden curriculum. Usually people never ask about hidden curriculum. But hidden curriculum makes the child what he and she is. Exactly. And how they will shape up their future, their career. Those corridor talks, so very important for me, those talks which happen in school bus or playground. So I prefer we need to give voice to our children, because not just because of pandemic, but otherwise also I feel this generation is a very lonely generation. We need to be there for our children, because if we have willingly accepted this responsibility, be there for them. And the day you set your mind that yes, you want to be there for children, trust me, that motivates you. What can be the best motivation? That every morning when you get up, you have so many lives that you can change. And when you have this kind of opportunity, that's the best way to go ahead.
I think we need more passionate teachers. I'm sure we have many, but we need more passionate teachers around in the world like you. So, moving on, ma'am, we would like to know that what are the challenges that you must have faced as an educator?
Very honestly, Mubaraka, I think challenges are very important. Otherwise, we become so complacent.
Right.
We feel, okay, this is something which can be done in this particular manner. So we need challenges. I mean, never smooth roads will never make you a good driver. You need rough roads. So I, being a person who has practically done everything that ends with ing. So you talk about gliding, parasailing, swimming, scuba diving, trekking,
Wow.
mountaineering. So challenges are fun.
Right.
So I think challenges motivate me, honestly, because when you feel, oh, this cannot be done this way, then comes innovation, then comes curiosity. And isn't it something that we all are looking for? We speak about 21st century learner, wherein curiosity is important, innovation is important, entrepreneurial skills are important. That all starts from you. So I think that is what is important, and I always see challenge as a situation which will help me grow. As a situation wherein there will be different solutions. So sometimes we have this open discussion with our students. If there is something which is very, very challenging, we just throw it open in front of our students. And trust me, we get better answer than what we were looking for. The only thing is be open to adapt to whatever your children are telling. Give them voice, and I'm a firm believer that our children can provide us the better solution if we are ready to listen to that. Otherwise, we always feel that we are on the other side of the table. So we are teachers, we know everything. No, it is not like that.
That's such a wonderful attitude. I mean, to learn from children, it's really a remarkable attitude. So, yeah, I mean, normally, I think teaching as a profession, people take it as a very easygoing job. But somebody who really puts their heart and soul in it, I think for them, as you said, challenges are more than welcome, and challenges is what keeps them motivated. STEM and technology, how does that help children grow?
So, Mubaraka, if you look around and see everything, where do you see STEM and technology are not there?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about today's generation. Let's not talk about today's time. But even if you go to ancient India, I think STEM and technology is everywhere. If you talk about the biggest of the monument, and we teach those monuments as a part of history, how can a monument be made if you do not know your maths and science properly? If your engineering is not at place, you need to know the weather condition, you need to know the kind of stone that you can use, you need to know whether the stone will erode because of the moisture in the air. So STEM and technology is everywhere. The only thing is now we have structured it and we have given a terminology to it.
Right.
But everywhere you see patterns. And with patterns, you can then move ahead to coding. You can then make your own algorithm. So STEM and technology was always there. Yes, it has got its due recognition as a separate discipline now, which is very important. And that again starts with curiosity, starts with invention, starts with making something new. And making something new always starts with curiosity. So it is invention, and I personally believe that it was always there. But good, now there is a terminology. So when there is terminology, we all are very happy to accept it and embrace it in a positive manner.
Right.
But it was always there.
So I think, as ma'am rightly said, that technology and innovation were there in the earlier times also. But in fact, I would say that in those days, even though machines were not there, we could produce such beautiful structures and
True.
piece of art. So yeah, that was wonderful. So moving on, ma'am, during COVID, we've seen a shift in the world of education from physical setup to learning completely online. How did your school manage that, and what were the challenges you faced for that?
I think entire world faced challenge, right? But the best was teachers jumped into the water which was unknown to them. Okay, it was unknown and it was like they need to survive. So everybody learned to swim in the water which was not the friendly water for them. And that is the best part. I think all educators all over the world, they need to pat their back and say, yes, we have done it, because they have done it. The only motto was that no child should be left behind. Education needs to reach to each and everyone. And they have done everything. They have done everything. So what we did, we are basically an early adapter of technology, when you say. So when the schools were closed in the month of March in 2020, April was the hardcore training month for our teachers. So we got the best of trainers from all over the world. And the best part is, because of pandemic, we got the best of trainers, and collaboration became the new buzzword. And everybody, because they don't have to travel now.
Right.
It's all everything, just open your laptop or your phone and then everybody was there.
It's all due to technology.
Yes, so it was blessing.
Yeah.
It was blessing, and we should never waste good crisis. So either we all keep on saying that COVID, 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 and how what do we do, or we see that okay, it's a crisis and we have to move ahead with the crisis because history knows that we have seen so many crises in past also. So what we did, we basically trained our parents. We had technical training sessions for our parents, for our students, for our teachers. We started very early. So we trained everyone. When everyone is on the same page and we are working with the same script,
Right.
we know what is the end goal. So it was challenging, but it was learning. It was fun because we all went through that cycle of unlearn, relearn, and learn again. Now every day we look for new challenge. But still, saying that, I firmly believe whether it's your blackboard or your whiteboard or your screen or anything, it's the teacher who can play the magic. So
Yeah.
teacher need to be empowered. If the teacher is empowered and willing to learn, there's nothing that they cannot do.
Yeah. So I think Sanjeevani World School adopted to technology very early, and I would also like to mention here that in fact you have included STEM and technology education way back in 2018, and that was really far-sighted, and of course ma'am was the driving force behind that also. And as you rightly mentioned that across the globe, teachers have put selfless efforts to ensure that education does not stop, and children continue to learn. So we are very grateful. Children are blessed to have such gurus and the availability of technology, to make this happen. So yeah, moving on. Ma'am, there is one very special thing about you. So as a principal, she meets and greets her parents and students every day in the morning. So I'm sure you must have missed those moments in the COVID period.
Yes.
And now when we are coming back to physical, you must be looking forward to those moments again.
Yes, looking forward to those moments because the children whom I used to greet when they were in nursery, now they'll come. Now they've already come to senior KG,
Right.
and they will come to grade 1, and I will really figure out, do I really know their faces? But that's a beautiful moment, and there's a science behind it, I feel. When you see the child entering the school, you know whether the child is ready for the day or not. Many of the times you will see children entering the school dragging their feet. And trust me, they're not ready for the entire day. And those are triggers to identify, okay, maybe the teacher needs to talk to the child, or maybe the counselor needs to sit with the child for some time. There are times when children, they do not go to their class, they come and sit here outside my cabin. So, you need to have that open door policy. The day principal will become jailer. Trust me, that transparency and that open flow of communication will not happen. If we say that we are training 21st century learner who will be very soon a 22nd century learner, how can we be with the mindset of 19th century or 20th century? We need to actually welcome children because most of the time we say that this generation do not respect us. I firmly do not believe in that. See, this is Generation Z which we are talking about. They are coming to our school. It's okay if my child is not telling me good morning first and I am telling. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, we do that. We wish everyone in the morning, and trust me, we never face the problem that children are not wishing us. Right from our guard to our lift operator to our bus didi bhaiya, our children wish everyone because this has become a culture. To make a culture, you have to do that. You can't just say if you're not walking the talk.
So I think that's a very inclusive and compassionate approach, and that's really appreciable.
And it's fun.
It's about your awards back again. Among the numerous awards, you've recently been conferred in the month of October itself two most prestigious awards, the Gandhi National Peace Award and the Dr. APJ Abul Kalam Award for Award of Excellence. So ma'am, how do you feel, and moreover, how do you manage, to bag so many awards along with so many other responsibilities that you're shouldering and at such a young age?
So, just a number.
Yeah,
Still, I will
that's
not
true.
tell you my age.
But
And, when you talk about awards, see, honestly, if you tell me, I am the last person who will go for the awards, but then at times you need to go ahead with this because people look up to you.
Right.
And these things become motivating factor for Sada. And for me, each and every award that I get, truly it is not me who deserve it. It's the entire team who deserves it. It cannot be just one person. See, Dr. Seema Negi can just be a face of a school, but Dr. Seema Negi cannot be entire Sanjeevani. It is team, and when I say team, it is all the parents, all the students, and all our team. So we firmly believe here in school that behind a child, two institutions need to stand firmly. One is an understanding parent and second is a visionary school. If we do that, then we can talk about holistic education. Otherwise, this is just a terminology. So everything that I get, somewhere down the line, it's my team, it's my student, it's my parent who have worked out for that. And I'm the only one who goes and nicely receives and get the photograph clicked.
That is quite humble of you, ma'am, to include everyone, as part of your award. So, lastly, ma'am, what is the message you want to give to young girls out there having big dreams and having dreams of achieving something in life? What would you want to say?
So dream, dream, dream and dream. We know Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has spoken about dreams, but saying that just do not dream, go and achieve those dreams. There will be failures, everybody gets failure in their life. There will be criticism, perfectly alright, everybody gets criticism. But do not let that criticism stop you from anything. In fact, use these 3 words, cheers to criticism. And you will see that you are learning from criticism, and trust me, criticism is good for you to grow. If you will succeed in the first time, only maybe second time you will not put in that kind of innovative effort. So it's okay when you fail. The world is not going to come to an end if you fail once.
It's all about your attitude.
It's all about your attitude. So it is like when it's said in Sanskrit, like Yad Bhav Tad Bhavati. The way you think, so shall be. So think positive, and trust me, there is abundance of positivity. Okay, are you ready to embrace that? So to all the young girls who are watching me here, trust me, in 2007 I started as a grade 3 teacher in my previous school, which was again the school of the same trust, and today I'm here in front of you from 2007 to 2021. So the thing is, don't stop dreaming. But at the same time, only dreaming or daydreaming is not going to help you. You have to achieve it.
You have to work towards it.
You have to work towards it, and do not work because you have to work. Work because you are passionate about it. If you are not passionate about it, you are troubling your own self, you are troubling your families, you are troubling your student, you are troubling everyone. So be passionate about it. And last but not the least, when you get up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror, your goal should be to turn your mirrors into the window of myriad opportunities and grab those opportunities. Go ahead with that and flow with the time. Everything will happen.
I think women like you are actually role models to young girls sitting out there and dreaming big. I mean, you and your passion gives them power to dream big and to go out and achieve it. Thank you so much.
We have to go out and achieve it.
Yeah.
Only dreams will not help.
Right.
So thank you, Mubaraka. That was so nice of you, and the questions were so very interesting, because it's always good to speak about what you are doing, and that is what I believe. So it was
a pleasure to have you here, and very humble of you to give us that time and share your journey and inspire so many people, so many children who are going to see this video, because this is mostly going out to children more than anybody else as inspiring talk. So thank you.
I would like to tell something to the children if they will be watching it.
Yeah.
In the world of Googleization, where everything is easily available, do get inspired by people, but do not become anybody's copy. Okay, come out of this cut and paste attitude. Each one of us, we are unique individuals, so we are our own limited edition. So please do not become anybody's copy. Get inspired. Yes, I will definitely say get inspired, but be who you are and take pride in that. Be the limited edition.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. It was a pleasure having you, and wish you all the best for your future. I know you have many ambitions in life, and may you go higher than what you even have planned for yourself. Thank you so much,
Martha. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
And this is a certification of appreciation for you to be partnering in STEM and technology and embracing it at a very initial stage.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.